up, everybody? You found us from Giuseppe's studio. It's the Lombardi and JP Talk Sports Podcast. This is where you will hear all the latest updates, news, and trends related to Lombardi and JP's favorite teams, the Cowboys, Yankees, New York Rangers, and the Yukon Huskies. Well, gentlemen, welcome to our first episode. I felt it was only appropriate to kick the show off with a little background. How did this podcast come about? Why are you two sitting there right now?
So I guess it all started on a plane ride going down to Texas. My first ever trip to A&T Stadium with Joe. He offered to take me and host me, and we were on a plane ride. And that 3-hour plane ride ended up feeling like a 15-minute plane ride. It was so quick. It was so much fun. Talk about sports. Talk about the Yankees, the Cowboys, the Rangers, and Yukon. So I thought we had something there, right? Like had that chemistry. Right. We had that friendship already kind of starting. So I felt like this was a good opportunity to capitalize on our friendship, capitalize on our sports teams. We have so much in common, so I thought it was fun.
You know, and I'm going to piggyback up on that, Scotty P. He is right. We're on a flight. We formed a relationship because our teams have aligned, and we just connected. For whatever reason, 5 years ago, we connected. I'm a season ticket holder with the Dallas Cowboys since 2018. And when I met him, we were not friends at the time, and he said, hey, if I can ever get an opportunity to go see the Dallas Cowboys, man, I would do anything. And for whatever reason, I knew he was passionate, like myself. I knew he wanted to do this. And I wanted to, as everybody I bring down to Dallas, I want them to enjoy the experience as I've done since 2018. So when he and I got on that plane for the first trip and we connected 3.5 hours later, it was crazy, like that quick of a flight, and all we're doing is talking sports. And then as the years developed, he says to me, hey, Lombardi, we need to do a podcast. I said, what are you, crazy? He said, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. So sure enough, year 2, hey, Lombardi, we need to do a podcast. I said, no, that's dumber than you said the first year, third year. You got to do a podcast. So sure enough, we're driving down to Yankee Stadium on the Bronx, maybe probably April, beginning of the season. And we're in the car. It's a Sunday morning. We like to get there nice and early. And he says, hey, you ready to do this podcast? And I think he almost fell off his seat because I said, yeah, let's do this podcast. and you know what? Here we are today, and super excited. Something that I can't believe I'm having so much fun.
I broke you down. I got you to do it.
And how many years after the first time you mentioned it was this?
It took about 3-4 years. I would say I was probably saw 3.5 years.
I would think so.
Trying to push you to do it, and here we are. And one day you gave me a call saying, "Hey, we're doing this," and here we are. So
persistence pays off, JP. Well done.
I am known for being persistent. You can ask any of my friends. I'm a persistent person.
You call it persistent. I call it something else. But I'll hold my.
He was a pain in the butt long enough.
Yeah, something like that.
He wore you down.
Yeah. Thanks for the words, Scotty P.
Yeah, no problem. All right, let's jump right in, fellas. Thanks for the little history lesson there of how we got to where we are today. So let's jump right in first. You guys just got off the road. You just got back from the Bronx, right? You saw the Yankees play, gearing up for the postseason. What do you think? What did you see today? How did it compare to what you've seen so far? How do you feel going into this last month of the season or so?
I definitely have concerns. Very, very much so. I just thinking about the bullpen issues today. I mean, the Yankees offense, they scored 7 runs. They came back being down 7-2, and they brought it all the way back to 7-7. And then our bullpen comes in the 7th inning and just blows the game wide open for the Cardinals, and we sit here at a 14-7 loss. But overall, again, what a great day to go to a game on a Sunday afternoon. We brought our wives out there and had a great time. We always enjoy ourselves at the Bronx. Every time we go there, it's always a great time.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I'm really concerned. You can't lose by a touchdown in September 1st, right?
Right.
We're still talking Yankees, right? We're not into the Cowboys yet.
Not yet.
Okay, but we still lost by a touchdown.
Absolutely.
That's coming. Cowboys are coming.
All right.
Football scores will be coming. Yes, way too early, Joe, for a football score.
Fair enough. Here's the deal. You cannot blow a lead. Your team comes back, ties the game 7-7, and then the next inning or two, you give up 5 runs. It's such a blow. It's such a, not only to the team, your players, to the fans, it was deflating. You actually saw the stadium today almost deflate. It was really disheartening.
It went from a playoff atmosphere, so it felt like everybody's on their feet or standing. We had bases loaded at one point, and we ground to a double play in the inning. So it was like one of those things where we had so much going for us to get us there. We got the game tied finally with some big hits. And actually, the hits came from down in the order. It wasn't even the top guys that made the hits.
As a matter of fact, Soto, Soto didn't. I love him. He's not gonna come through every single time, but he hit into a major double play.
I think
Judge took us out of the inning. We were no outs. We were scoring 3 runs with 4 runs. We had men on runners on base. Hits into a double play. Can't do that.
I know.
At that time, late in the game.
I think Soto and Judge together today, it was like 1 for 7 or something like that. If you look it up, I think it was they did not provide really any offense today. But Verdugo, Torres,
right?
Stanton came
through again.
I know.
Yesterday too.
Yesterday, yeah. So again, it was a fun day in the Bronx. Had a good time. And Joe, tell us about this deal you get. We get the Legends Suites.
Yeah, so a little shout out to an unbelievable sales rep and now a friend, Matt Aber, with the New York Yankees. He's my sales rep. I have a season ticket package, flex plan with the New York Yankees that permits me to obtain 1 weekend home game every series they're home. And it's been quite an experience. And once again, this Matt Aber, he's a sales rep with the New York Yankees, and we formed a rapport. And I got a call on the ride down there, and he stated that, hey, listen, I want to upgrade you to the suites. So believe it or not, we sat in a luxury box today. It was pretty amazing. Buffet, whatever we wanted. He came in, and I just wanted to say thank you to him on our first episode as well.
And my wife come down haven't been to a game in about 12 years. Like what a cool experience to take her to Yankee Stadium, have a private box for us. So it was definitely once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. So thank you so much, Joe, for taking us down.
You're very welcome. And for our fans and supporters, listeners, we'll have check out our website and podcast. Our links some really cool pictures are up there. Yeah, reflecting today's experience.
We did a photo dump. Little reel on our so you can see our day today and check it out and see how much fun we had today. So
and you guys got to both places, right? You didn't spend the entire game in the suite, right? Did you move down to the seats later in the game?
Yeah, so that's correct. So what we do is my tickets are in the Delta Sky Club, which is right behind home plate, second deck, kind of right behind where the media sets up. But these suites were out in the right field section, party suite, and we were able to spend some time in that party suite. But we also moved over back into the Delta Sky Club, which is pretty amazing as well. So we had best of both worlds today.
All right, so our subscribers and followers will see the pictures from both out in suite or out in, what did you say, left field or right field?
We were in right field.
Right field. So pictures from out in right field, and then pictures from behind home plate.
Scotty, how do you feel about the Delta Sky Box? Didn't you go last week?
I did. Thanks for asking, JP.
Yeah.
So first time at the new, and I'm using air quotes, new Yankee Stadium, right? How old is it?
2009.
2009. Just a little late getting out there. Still new to me. First time there. And as you know, diehard Red Sox fan, hate the Yankees, but have good friends and family who are Yankee fans. So I have been to Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium, Shea Stadium. This first time there at the new one, and it's still, when you come walking in, Lombardi brings us to the gates behind home plate, and you see the structure, and you're still just kind of in awe of, wow, this is nice. They know how to do it. They built a great stadium, and then of course when we get inside, you got some of the best seats in the house. So we got to see a great game. It was the back-to-back game where it was Soto, Judge, and Stanton.
I believe so, yes, sir.
And Judge had an earlier home run in the game, so it was a good game to watch. Different outcome than what you guys got to see today.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience, even as a Red Sox fan.
Are you gonna convert? Are you gonna come over to the dark side? Or?
Hell no!
All right, I had to
read
ask.
my lips.
All right.
Hell no!
You should have quit when we were ahead, man.
I'm gonna keep working on it. I'm just gonna keep working on it.
Hey, speaking of today's game, let's go back to the box score, because my favorite part is the first 4 in the lineup only having 2 hits. There's my Red Sox fandom coming out, right? I like to see that. But
Right.
to what Lombardi was stating earlier, the bottom, more than half of the lineup. I mean, you're talking from 5 through 9.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hits from the bottom of the order.
Right.
Now, I understand you came out on the losing end today, but does that make some of that's got to make you feel good, doesn't it?
So I'm gonna step up and comment on that right away because that's huge. That's the teams that can contribute from 5 to 9. In addition, I've said this before off air. Pitching defense wins championships. We all know that. Anybody that's a baseball fan, you need good pitching. Good pitching will always beat good hitting, in my opinion. Pitching and defense.
Right.
However, having a lineup where 5 through 9 can contribute is amazing because don't kid yourself. Just because Juan Soto's Juan Soto and Aaron Judge's Aaron Judge, they're human too. And they're not always going to get a hit. They're not always going to hit a home run. Like everybody, the passionate fan thinks every time Judge comes up to the plate, he's going to hit a home run because it feels like that. But if you don't have that 5 through 9, that lineup to complement when these guys are not struggling, but when these guys have an off day, you're not going to win a championship.
Yeah, and I think we noticed pretty early on, like our top guys weren't performing, but seeing Verdugo get out of a slump, seeing Volpe kind of play well in defenses today, and Jazz Chisholm had some great hits, some stolen bases. He made the game fun to watch. So yes, it does stink to lose, especially when he came back, like we talked about earlier. Come down from 7-2, we came back and tied the game. Then just to blow it in the 8th inning with our bullpen and the issues we continue to have. We don't have an ideal closer, that especially we're going into the postseason. You think we need somebody to fill that spot. I don't think Tommy Kahnle came in today, blew the game for us.
It was terrible.
We thought maybe he'd be the guy, but he's not the guy, obviously. So.
Well, he had a bad outing. I don't know if he's not the guy. He had a bad outing.
Yeah,
he's coming off injury. We don't know where he's at.
So Cousins and Kahnle have been the guys all season for us.
Oh, Weaver.
And Weaver as well. But those two guys, Cousins and Kahnle, have under 2 ERA at this point, and we need to find somebody before the postseason. So it's just it's not the outcome we wanted, but overall it was a great day with hanging out with you and the Wise and having this is kind of this once in a lifetime experience.
No doubt. Can I fall back on one thing? I think it's important for the fans to know. What's up with but what are we gonna do with Nestor Cortez? I mean, you always talk about the closing role, but man, Nestor is a concern. Nestor could have gone 2 innings. That game could have got out of control in 2 innings, as you know. He was one pitch away from disaster.
He got hit hard today, but I think overall he got out of the jams and great, brilliant pickoff throw to second base. He got a guy who's trying to steal. Again, it's Nestor Cortez. He's not a Garrett Cole. He's not a top 10 pitcher in baseball. But to get him out there to throw some innings, I think he keeps us competitive. I think today we were competitive until Verdugo didn't run down a ball in shallow left field. The ball dropped. Next at bat, home run. So again, I think he could have got out of the jam if we had some better defense today because Juan Soto let a couple over his head. So it wasn't that impressive on defense today. It was definitely what killed us.
Well, even Volpe. Volpe had a tough play at shortstop that he should have made that play. He should have made the play. And I believe we're out of the inning if he makes that play.
I think so too. But it wasn't in our cards to win today.
So Judge goes 0 for 4, right? We're not being held captive to the moment. It's one day, like you said, he's not going to hit every single day, but still having an historic year.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on where he is right now and the likelihood of Triple Crown, home run leader, RBI leader?
Yeah, so I think watching this year it reminds you of 2022. He had that AL winning MVP year where he broke Roger Maris's record. That was such a fun year to watch, and this year is another year. It's just been, as a Yankees fan, has been so much fun. Like watching Judge become this player that he's always meant to be, right? Like all these injuries plagued his early career where he could never live up to the hype, and then the last 3 years he's been that guy for us. He's been, I think, one of the top 3 baseball players in baseball. So I'm so thankful to have him on the Yankees in pinstripes. He signed back on. That was a huge thing, but can he repeat 2022? I think he can. I think he'll might either tie or break his record for home runs. But as for the Triple Crown, there's no way he's going to catch him for the average and catch it to Bobby Witt Jr. unless he has a huge slump.
Would have, could have, should have. Very important to mention. Let's talk about, it sounds years ago, but his April and May were so terrible. Imagine if his April and May were Judge-like.
Right.
This might not even be an issue right now. This might not even be a conversation.
It's true.
Unbelievable.
He was god awful in
Right?
April. Like just
Right?
one of the worst starts you could have in baseball. And then in his June, in his July, now his August, like he's definitely came through for the Yankees, and he's been a true MVP candidate since that moment.
So my concern, do I think, to answer the question, Triple Crown, right? I think he's got a shot at it. I do. You know the crazy thing and my concern with the Triple Crown, and it happened today, is he going to get a true fair opportunity? Judge gets walked so many times. I don't know if Scotty P can pull it up for us, but I would be interested to see how many walks Judge has taken this year, whether they're intentional or not.
Yeah.
But even today, like they're taking bats away from him.
Right.
And I know that's part of the game. I understand it. But I mean, that's really, really difficult when you're talking about 30 games left of the season.
Right.
And he's going for this amazing Triple Crown opportunity. Last person to do it, Miguel Cabrera, I think in 2012, correct?
Right.
So, I mean, here we are 2024 where Aaron Judge has a legitimate chance to break this or to set this record that was 12 years ago. 12 years ago. And he's taken walks after walks after walks.
Well, it's a Triple Crown. I mean, it has happened in the history of Major League Baseball. But the record he's going for is to beat his own record that was only been 2 years old now, since obviously he broke it. But Roger Maris, that record stood for a long, long time before Judge broke it. So
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think if 26 games left, actually, I think we looked it up earlier. It's 26 games left in the season. And if he's going to be walked one at bat of a game, it's not going to help his chances of one, getting the average up there, and two, hitting 11 more home runs to break his record. So
Correct.
I think if they got to start pitching to him, especially down the stretch when we play these like teams that are so far out of the playoffs. It doesn't matter if they win or lose. Just let the guy hit. Let the guy be the player he is. Like don't take the bat out of his hands because you have nothing to win or lose at this point in the season. You know what I mean? And for Aaron Judge, like he's doing something so historical. Why stop that? You know what I mean? Like baseball needs an Aaron Judge to keep baseball interesting because that's why they're changing all these rules and doing everything else that try to enhance the game. But watching Judge just be an amazing baseball player and having these kind of seasons, it brings fans back in the stands.
But 100% agree. But you have to remember too, and the intentional walk or walking somebody is part of this strategy of winning a game. If they
Right.
can put him on first base and set up for a double play, I understand that. So I don't know. Like there's a happy medium, I guess. Yeah, go after him if you're going to go after him. But if you're afraid to pitch to him and you're just walking him because you don't want to pitch
Right.
to him, there's a problem.
I get it, but
There's a
they're
problem.
going to be playing the Red Sox in a couple of weeks in Yankee Stadium. And
Right? Do they walk him if it's a close game?
I think Cora walks him, but I don't want him. I don't want them to, obviously.
Right. And I don't know if
it's a
that's
great
the spirit.
rivalry.
And you know what? I don't know if that's really the spirit of the game either. And that's my problem. Like, you're just going to walk a guy. You're going to walk a guy because you're afraid of him hitting a home run as opposed to taking him on. Like, why not take him on? Why not? I'm going to be better than you. Why I'm going to be better than you? I don't understand the philosophy of some teams where, I understand, like I said, there is a piece of strategy to it,
Yeah.
but there is a sense of, hey, listen, the spirit of the game is the pitcher against the hitter.
Yeah. Did you hear the chant today? We want Soto.
No, they said, you know what they said? Please sign Soto. Please sign Soto.
Yeah.
They were chanting to sign Soto, and that was a message to Brian Cashman, clearly.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great segue into our next topic before we leave the Yankees. But before we get to that, you asked the question about the walk. So here's some really interesting statistics for you. You spoke of the 22 season, right? In 157 games, he was walked 111 times. So far this year, he's played in 135 games. He's been walked 112 times.
Wow.
Wow, that's a Wow.
And you know that's only going to increase.
No doubt.
of course.
No doubt.
And I will play the devil's advocate as I think that's my role here almost.
I hope
Particularly
so.
when we're talking Yankees as
Add
a Red
on.
Sox fan. So when Cora does walk him, why do you walk him? Because part of the strategy, as you sort of alluded to, Lombardi, is that you're playing to win the game, and when you face him and you go after him, more often than not, you lose.
He's going to hurt you.
He's going to hurt you. And
Right.
therefore, you're most likely going to lose the game. So
Right.
you're going to win that game. My best chance to win the game is I'm putting Judge on. I'm not going to.
Right.
I'm not giving you a run. And
Right.
God forbid you had runners on the bases.
Right.
I'm not going to give you even more runs.
No, you're right. You're right. And, but at the same time, the reason why I first said that I do think Aaron Judge can win the Triple Crown is for this reason. He's got so many great players and support around him. You know what I mean? With Juan Soto and Volpe and Verdugo. Verdugo, I know, has struggled, but he's still a great hitter. That it makes it really difficult to have the opportunity to actually walk him because you're going to get hurt somewhere. You continue to walk the guy. There's other people that can hurt you.
My last point is that, thank God Austin Wells has turned the season around because he's batting cleanup now. And since he's been batting cleanup, I saw a stat on Yes Network saying that he's been batting .350 since he's been in that role. So he's been a huge part of giving Judge some protection. And then when Stanton came back from injury, he fell in that fifth spot. So now if you're going to walk Judge, you got to play against Austin Wells and you have Stanton. So thank God those guys are actually playing well because Stanton in the last two games have finally showed a spark. Oh my God, that's the guy we wanted from Miami. And
Correct.
we need that protection for Judge behind him. So that was cool to see. And I'm a huge Austin Wells fan. I'll go on record saying it. I've been telling you since the beginning of the season, this guy could be something special. And now he's been considered for being AL Rookie of the Year.
No doubt. No doubt.
Right, and pick your poison. Right, yeah, you can put Judge on, but as you said, there's a whole lineup there around him, before him, and after him that you're going to make you pay either way.
There's a reason why the team. Listen, we're fans of the New York Yankees. There's no question of that. There's a reason why the team's in first place, and it's September 1st. They have a great lineup, and they have good pitching.
They do.
So,
and as a baseball fan, I want to see him challenge. I want to see pitchers go after him, and let's see if he can do it. Just don't do it at Fenway. Don't do it against the Red Sox. Let somebody else pitch to him.
But that's my point. That was my point. That was my point.
All right, so you mentioned Juan Soto. Are they going to re-sign him? Is Cashman going to be able to sign him long-term?
I hope so. I mean, all Yankee fans have been chanting this for weeks now. I mean, we're getting toward the end of the season, so obviously his contract's going to expire pretty soon after the postseason. So, yes, I hope Cashman's going to resign him for a long-term deal. Juan Soto's 25 years old. He's still got a lot of tread on those tires. I feel like it's not like signing a 32-year-old for a 10-year contract or those long-term deals. Obviously, the Steinbrenner family have definitely changed their ways since George's passing, and they don't like to commit to players for this long of term and for this money.
You say that, but look at Aaron Judge. You look at Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole, top 5 pitcher. Aaron Judge, top three player in the league.
What's Soto?
I think he's up there, but Aaron Judge bet on himself. He went on a year with remaining on his contract, and he went out there to hit 62 home runs. They had to pay him. If they would have paid him earlier, he wouldn't have this crazy deal.
No, they tried to. I think you're wrong about that. They offered him, I think, a deal between $225 and $250, $225 million to $250 million, and Judge turned it down. It was at the beginning or shortly to the start of that contract season.
What did he get?
And you know what he got? He got what, $300 million?
No, more.
What is it?
We gotta look it up, Scotty. Help us out.
All right, you're looking for Judge's contract.
Yeah, his current salary.
His current.
He's definitely the highest paid player in baseball, I think, isn't he?
I don't remember, but I know he got way more than what they offered him.
But if they would have signed him before, what he wanted before the season was less than what he got because he bet on himself. He knew what he was worth, and power to the guy. He went out there and performed for the Yankees and had that kind of year.
While we're getting that information, back to Soto, how is Soto not going to get that kind of money?
I don't know. I don't know how we talked about this before. I don't know how we can keep all these guys.
I'll tell you how you keep him. Stanton's got to go. He's awesome
He's
right
gone.
now. He's awesome right now, and he's contributing, but he's got to go. Gleyber Torres, he's up for contract. He's gone.
So Stan's on for a while. Stan's on for a couple more years. To offload him would be fantastic.
Now's the time. He's doing well. Let's trade him.
Yeah.
Clear some of that salary and let's trade him.
I totally agree.
Gleyber Torres, he's got to go.
He's gone.
He can't be re-signed.
Verdugo's gonna be gone.
Verdugo, he's gone. Jason Dominguez is going to take his
right.
spot.
How about DJ? DJ's got to go, right?
I don't even know where DJ is.
He didn't play today, but
He's somewhere in the clubhouse, I think.
yeah.
On the bench. He's got to go too.
Hey, how about Rizzo coming back today? I was waiting.
I'm a big Rizzo fan.
That was a great comeback today.
And he
back
had a great day.
Couple RBIs.
Yeah, he had a
big
great
hits.
day.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And I'm happy for him. He's such a good guy. He's a good clubhouse guy.
Yeah.
And he's a legit first baseman.
Yeah, and he's like Judge's best friend.
Well, you know the thing about Rizzo, I think a lot of people were down on him because before his injury, before his fractured foot, there was an issue where he wasn't really playing to his capabilities or performing. And I think hopefully coming into the end of the season and into the playoffs, he's going to show what Anthony Rizzo can really do.
Absolutely.
So,
all right, gentlemen. So coming off of his record-setting historic 2022 season is when Judge agreed to a 9-year, $360 million contract.
yeah, I said 300. I was off 62 million.
Yeah, I was closer. I said 400 million.
You
I
did,
was
yeah?
off 40. Yeah. So.
And do you
We'll
know
meet
who
in
he
the middle.
surpassed by signing that? Who was the highest paid player who just made the biggest deal right before him? No, not right before him. Let's say 3 years before him in 2019.
I want to say Mookie Betts.
Good guess. That's not correct.
I don't know.
Shohan Otani.
No, it's
No.
not Shohei.
No, but he was
Shohei. I
after-
think that was that's a little
Shohei
too early
Ohtani.
for Shohei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit me with it.
Down south on the East Coast, Bryce Harper, 13-year, $330 million with the Phillies in 2019.
We got to deal with Judge.
Yeah, you can have Bryce Harper.
He's great, but he's a great player.
I don't
but
even
he's
think
not.
he finishes that contract.
13 years. Remember Bryce Harper started when he was like 19, so he's not that old.
You know what though? After Judge signed his contract, I remember like Bogarts signed a huge contract. Mookie Betts had his huge contract. There were like 3 or 4 guys that really signed some big time contracts. So, you know, when going back to Soto, you have to pay him and you need him.
Yeah,
He's
I
been
agree. I totally agree.
He's a big time player and he can handle New York City. And the fans love him. His teammates love him. He's a great fit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for baseball. Let's move on. We transition. Let's talk football. This weekend, opening weekend for the NFL. Our Cowboys have just signed CeeDee Lamb. We got to tee that up as the topic of the day here.
Thank God. Just thank God we got CD for week 1. That was our biggest concern. If we didn't have Dak Prescott with CeeDee Lamb paired up for the week 1 matchup against the Browns, we were going to be in trouble. Because we're talking about who's going to be that next guy. Is it Brandon Cooks? Is it Jason Tolbert? Is it who is it going to be? Jake Ferguson? Because we know we don't got no running game, right? I mean, I know we signed Devon Cook, but he's kind of been washed. Zeke's washed. We got Rico Dowdle. So if we didn't have CeeDee Lamb, we were in big trouble.
I agree. CeeDee Lamb was a huge signing. $136 million extension, $100 million guaranteed.
And leading up to that signing, right, wasn't Jerry Jones saying some weird stuff? I mean, he's been off his rocker, I think, for the couple of years now. But
I was going to say, was this a surprise?
Well, I know, but it's like publicly saying that it wasn't a top priority to sign CeeDee Lamb, one of the top receivers in football.
You can't believe anything he says.
You
publicly.
can't say that as a GM and as an owner and expect that's not going to hurt you in negotiations, because 31 other teams will be glad to have CeeDee Lamb join their team.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna granted maybe the term he wasn't a priority. Maybe he got caught up in a moment in front of a news camera and said the wrong thing. I get it. But let's defend Jerry Jones for a moment. I'm not loving Jerry Jones.
You
right
can
now.
try.
I know people are gonna go nuts when I say this, but here's the thing: just because Jerry Jones has $10 billion, he's a billionaire. He flies his helicopter. I see it all the time, and it's beautiful, right? $10 billion. Everybody wants to be the highest paid player, and where does that money come from? There is a salary cap. So when these fans are going nuts, why isn't CeeDee Lamb signed? Why isn't give him the money? He deserves the money. He's the top. He's one of the top wide receivers. He's a Jefferson. Give him the money. Yes, I want to see CeeDee Lamb next Sunday in Cleveland. No doubt, hands down, he's amazing. But at the same time, this is a business, and there is a salary cap. So there is some type of negotiation that has to go on in some type of financial aspect that goes into this. But oh my God, we need CeeDee Lamb. I'm happy he's a Cowboy for the next 4 years. And I read a lot about this. I guess the trouble really was that CeeDee Lamb's agent is all about shorter contracts because guess why? They want to go back to the table and make more money. So the money I don't think was the issue. It was the years of service that was the issue. They wanted a 3-year. The Cowboys wanted a 5-year, and I think they negotiated and settled with a 4-year, and that was the issue with the CeeDee Lamb contract.
All right. What about injuries going into week 1?
I got a big blow, man. Week 3 of the preseason, losing Deron Bland for 8 weeks with a fractured foot, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a huge blow. We're right back where we were last year when we lost Diggs in week 2. We need to have both guys on the field to make sure that defense is efficient and effective. Keeping guys covered while Michael Parsons is rushing the passer is what we need to do. That's our method for success is to keep that coverage. And now that we're losing him, who's the next guy up? I don't know who the next guy up is. Jordan Lewis? He's questionable.
So Bland, just a heads up, 9 interceptions last year, 5 of them for touchdowns.
I know.
I don't know who steps up. Number one, it has to be, I would think, Jordan Lewis. But at the same time, man, like, let's go out. You want to talk about signing somebody. Xavier Howard is out there.
Right.
How about Stephen Gilmore, who still understands? I know Mike Zimmer's the new defensive coordinator.
Gilmore went to the Vikings.
Oh, did he already sign?
He signed with the Vikings,
Okay.
yeah. So
all right.
You're
right. He did sign. But there is a couple other guys out there. There's a couple other cornerbacks out there, and they'll come to mind right now that are available to fill that spot. They're going to lean on a rookie, and I'll get his name in a second. It'll come to me. They're going to lean on a rookie. They're high on this 5th-round rookie that is going to be starting across the field from Trevon. And I think there has to be some time to get adjusted to the NFL, not for week 1 where he's going to get exposed.
So Jordan Lewis, go back to him real quick. He's a nickel corner. He's not going to be playing on the outside. So again, we got to that rookie will be playing the other side of Diggs. Yes. But why we don't go out and make a splash move to get somebody who, maybe a veteran, like he's older. We did that last year with Gilmore. We thought that was a big deal. And thank God we had him because when Diggs went down week 2, Gilmore did hold it together for us. Yeah, he got burned. He's older. He doesn't have the legs like he used to have back 10 years ago. But he did his part. Diggs coming off an ACL injury, we're not really sure how he's going to come back from this.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm nervous, and I'll tell you why.
A little bit.
Look at what happened to Michael Gallup. And I know they played totally 2 different positions. But prior to the injury, Michael Gallup was signed for, what, a $60 million contract? Something that 5 years, $60 million?
He was definitely a serviceable number 2.
He was a solid number 2. He comes back from that ACL injury, and he's not even a Cowboy
Not even
anymore.
the same person.
And
Yeah.
Trevon Diggs,
He
I
retired.
pray that
Gallup retired. He
He's
signed
done.
with the Raiders and retired this offseason.
correct.
And he's a young guy.
Yeah.
I feel bad for his career. He has so much promise for the Cowboys. Obviously, they saw something in him to sign him for long term early on. But yeah, again, I think like you're looking at the overall. We did escape the preseason with very minor stuff for injury wise. I think our offensive line remains healthy throughout preseason, which we need because we have 2 rookies on that line now. We got BB and you got Guyton. So
right. Guyton's been doing very well.
I know,
very well.
Which again is another. I'll give Jerry credit there. When we look at the drafts in the last 5 years, our drafts have been very, very good.
Yeah, Will McKay.
Yeah, well, I'll give him the credit. Then.
I mean,
whatever it is, our GM, which is Jerry Jones, and his team have been making really good moves in the draft. So Guyton, I remember watching it here at your house. Talking about how Guyton is a project. He's a project player, and how can you draft like a guy first round as a Dallas Cowboys a project, and then he goes to camp and he's working with Zach Martin and all these veterans, and now he's gonna come off and like. He could be something pretty, be something special.
So let's
Tyler Smith, remember?
100%. Well, let's give credit once again. I just mentioned him, McKay, right? He has been recruited to be a general manager all over the league, and he's loyal to the Dallas Cowboys. The guy has an eye for the draft.
He does.
He is the lead in this draft. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Mike McCarthy, all the coaches, whatever. Will McKay is the guy that is the engine behind this. He really is the reason why we have, in my opinion, successful drafts. And the kid I wanted to mention that's going to probably step in, his last name is Carson. He was a 5th round draft pick this year for us, and they speak very highly of him. And hopefully he can be the next man up, as you call it.
It makes me nervous, though. We're taking so much chance in a rookie, especially against Cleveland. You know, they have good receivers out in Cleveland. They have Amari Cooper. They got Jerry Jeudy. They got Peoples-Jones, I think his name is.
Yeah.
So they have some good guys. Thankfully, Nick Chubb is out for this game. He's gonna be out for a while, but we got our hands full week 1.
Yeah, and you might be right, but I will tell you this too. There's a lot of question marks with their quarterback. Their quarterback hasn't played in 2 years?
I know.
And what does he bring?
Full season in a couple of years, yes.
What does he bring into this? We know Deshaun Watson as a Houston. Yeah, Texas, Houston, right? Houston Texans.
Wow.
Houston Texans.
Wow. Yeah, it's Houston Texans. Yeah, I got you.
I apologize.
I'm with you.
But my point is that we haven't seen him play since he was a Texan, right?
No, he played the Browns, but he hasn't been himself. He's been a shell of himself. I'm with you. I know you're saying, yeah, he has not been the same guy since he left Houston. Yes.
So all those receivers and all those playmakers are going to rely on somebody who really hasn't proved himself in the last 2 years.
Well, listen,
has he proven himself?
He has not. But
okay.
But talking about Cleveland and Cowboys, like, are you ready to go next weekend? Are you ready for this?
My bags are packed. Flight leaves at Saturday. 8:00?
Yeah, we're gonna be flying from Boston. We're gonna be going to Cleveland, and we'll be there for week 1. So it'll be Tom Brady's first ever announcement
on the mic.
Podcast.
Yeah, first debut.
Thank God I don't have to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I don't have to hear it.
We might have to see it.
Right.
So you guys are heading out there. Have you studied up on all your rookies and things that you're going to see out on the field because of these injuries?
Not as much as I would have liked.
So we know the big names. Obviously, Carson's a name that we didn't really consider being a guy that might be a key player for us this year. So it definitely kind of turned your head going on. All right, who's this guy and how's he doing with camp? Let's go rewatch those preseason games and see how he played. Right. I think preseason wise we did okay, but again, it's like Guyton. I'm really excited to see him play.
Right.
As a Cowboy.
And BB too. I'm excited to see BB play.
Yeah, me too. And Zach Martin was talking really highly of BB.
Yeah,
saying that
I'm excited.
He's pro ready.
And he's a hard worker. They talk about how hard that kid works.
Right.
You know, and he's learning a new position. That's what's concerning to me.
Yeah.
To be a center in the NFL, to learn that position.
Yeah. And everybody, please check out our posts on when we're in Cleveland. We're going to do some fun things. We're going to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Saturday. We're going to go do some nightlife in Cleveland on Saturday night. Then Sunday we'll be tailgating, having a blast in Cleveland.
Absolutely.
And the Dog Pound.
Yeah.
We're going with a couple of friends. So like my brother is turning 50, so we're taking him down to Cleveland. He's a huge Browns fan. And my buddy Jay, he's coming down with us, and then it'll be Lombardi's birthday on Sunday.
Oh
yes,
boy!
Yes.
What are you like 62 now?
Close.
Close. All right.
Yeah.
So
He's
it'll be his
brutal.
birthday. Yeah. So we'll be celebrating Lombardi's birthday. My brother turned 50 this year, so we're taking him down to his first ever Cleveland game. So it'll be definitely a special day, and it'll be a fun time.
We don't miss an opening day.
I feel like the last 4 years we've made every Yankees opening series and then an opening game for the Cowboys. We've made every single year.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I'm very, very privileged and lucky to be able to do this with you. I'm so thankful. It's
A lot
been
of fun.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Even if it's in Cleveland.
Well,
No, I'm kidding. Cleveland is a fun town for a weekend.
For two
time.
nights. 2 nights.
Yeah.
Yes.
As a music guy, I play guitar and sing in a band and all that stuff. It's going to be an amazing experience to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's right next to the stadium. So, and we've been talking about this, like, I guess 3 years ago. We even, hey, where do you want to go? When the Cowboys play, what team, what stadium do you want to go to? And we did say we want to go to Cleveland because of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We did Nashville already. We did Lambeau Field.
Well, JP, tell the audience where our goal is to hit every single stadium. And we're Cleveland is on the list this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. and we'll see what else we can scrap together and see what we can do another one. But right now we have a trip for Cleveland for week 1, and then we'll be in Dallas for the Tampa game in December. So that'll be fun.
And is this the first time in Cleveland for both of you, or JP, have you been there before?
I have not been there, so it'll be the first time for both of us. Yeah.
How about your brother?
First time. First time, yeah.
And he's an enemy, I believe, because I heard through the grapevine that he may be a Cleveland Brown fan.
Oh, come on. I just said he
just
was.
said-
Yeah, I just told you. I'm not hiding it from you.
All right.
One kind of funny thing is that for his birthday cameo, I reached out to Bernie Kosar, and Bernie Kosar played for the Cowboys and he played for the Browns, right?
Yeah.
So I did a cameo for my brother to wish him happy birthday on his birthday from Bernie Kosar.
All right, time out. I got to take a 30-second here. You just threw out. I reached out to Bernie Kosar like he's a family friend. How does one reach out to a former NFL quarterback?
It's called Cameo. It's a thing that you pay to have him send you a message. So Cameo, you could do any celebrity, any sport athlete. That you could reach out to them, give them a script, and they kind of reach out to the people you want to, and they'll give you a little message.
Makes him feel better when he says he reached out to Bernie Kosar.
I do feel important when I say
well,
it like
and
that.
to people that are so out of touch like myself, old guys that don't know anything about this, I'm like, wow.
Don't let him fool you.
I paid for it.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Well, you guys will have a great experience. Go down to the flats, enjoy it, have fun.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, should we get to our picks? I mean, so let's get for one question before we get into our picks for week 1. Talking about the Cowboys-Browns, what do you think is going to be the biggest factor on the field that is going to determine the outcome?
You can go first, Joe.
So the big factor for me is our running game. And I really believe I believe our defense is going to come out, Scotty P, and play well. I don't know if they're going to be perfect. It's week 1. You're going to see shortcomings on both sides of the field, both the Browns and the Cowboys. But I do think overall, it's really going to come down to how successful we are with our running game. And the reason I say that is this. We didn't talk about Dak Prescott this show or this episode, and we will get into him and his contract and what he's all about to the Dallas Cowboys. But listen, Dak Prescott can't throw the ball every single play. And as we alluded to early in the show, our running game is a concern. I hope Ezekiel Elliott comes out and has a comeback year. I hope Dalvin Cook comes out and has a great season. Dowell is the guy. We just let go Davis, I think. Malik Davis, right?
Davis is gone, yeah.
Is gone.
And Reese Freeman's gone as well.
I liked him. Well, Reese Freeman, I think that was just a filler at the time when we signed him. But I liked it, Davis. He was a serviceable 2, maybe 3. I don't know. But I really do think, Scotty P, the question is going to be, how well can we run the ball? And if we can run the ball, we don't have to run the ball the best in the league. We just have to be able to run the ball efficiently. And I think that's where, if we run the ball efficiently, I think Dak will take care of the ball. I think we have good receivers. We have a great offensive line, in my opinion. I think we have a great tight end. I think we'll be okay. I'm just concerned you can't throw the ball every single down. Can we run the ball?
I think my looking at what we need to do to win this game would be definitely the defense. I think the biggest thing right now is what defense will play better on Sunday. So would it be the Cleveland Browns with Myles Garrett, or would it be Micah Parsons with the Cowboys defense? Who will play better? Whoever's going to play better is going to win the game, obviously, right? So if you let the least amount of points you let score, you're going to win the game. So I think Micah Parsons got to put pressure on Watson. He's a mobile quarterback. He has legs. He can move around. He has lots of weapons on the Cleveland side. Parsons has to be a factor, just like the Browns. If Myles Garrett is a factor and gets in Dak's face and gets Dak uncomfortable, he can't hand the ball off. He's going to have to throw every single play. And if CeeDee Lamb is covered by Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome, all these guys on the defensive side for Cleveland, they have some studs over there. I feel like that's going to be where we lose this game. So again, I hope our defense prevails. I hope Mike Zimmer has a good game plan to keep Deshaun Watson in the pocket, not running out and bootlegging and taking some yards on our defense, because last year we have a problem stopping the run.
Correct.
Like we mentioned earlier, Nick Chubb is not in this game. Thank God, because if he was in this game, that could be a huge, huge X factor that could take us just down the field every single play, just run down our throats like last year. We could not stop the run.
Well, what I want to tell you, when I comment about our running game, yes, I'm focusing on our running backs, but that also includes Dak Prescott as well. He's gonna have to be a little versatile. He's going to have to use his legs a little bit. I don't want to see him. He's an older quarterback at now, 9 years in the league or 8 years in the league, whatever he is. He's not the fastest guy, but if he can pick up 2 or 3 yards as opposed to taking the sack or throwing the ball away, he's going to have to contribute to offset that running game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do agree with you, but we didn't do anything in the offseason to improve our running game besides sign Zeke. Now we have Dalvin Cook. Both guys, if there was 4 years ago, we'd be going, we have a stud backfield. But they're 4 years older, 4 years of more beating in the NFL. Dalvin Cook didn't even play that much last year. He got released by the Jets. Then he signed with Baltimore, and Baltimore never even used him. So Dalvin Cook has a lot to prove to the Cowboys and into the coaching staff to see if he's even willing to play this year.
Yeah, but I think you're thinking of the old traditional running back, the way that the NFL used to be, the old running backs. The NFL does not work like that right now. You're going to see these guys come out. They're going to catch a screen.
They're more of a committee than they are than a
That's what I mean.
Standalone.
So I'm not so. I think they are serviceable. I think Zeke could be serviceable. I think Cook can be serviceable because it's not going to be your typical run the ball up the middle. It's going to be them coming out of the backfield. It's going to be a screen pass. It's going to be a quick route out. You're going to see them more serviceable, the traditional way that you're thinking right now.
Scotty, last year, Zeke was with the Patriots. What was your thoughts on him?
Well, I was just thinking you took it's like you could see into my mind and what I was thinking. They didn't have the Patriots. They didn't have the offensive air attack that the Cowboys do, right? They didn't have Dak Prescott. They didn't have the receivers. They didn't have CeeDee Lamb. And Zeke still did pretty well. And the expectations were not the old Zeke. It's the older today's Zeke, and you're not going to get that out of him. So did he meet the expectations? Maybe. He didn't have a lot else going for him to help him. So could he do a little bit more in Dallas this year? I think he could, but I'm not expecting it. I'm thinking you're going to see the same Zeke that you saw in the past.
Let me comment on that because that's exactly what I'm talking about. Zeke did okay with the Patriots. I'm not saying he was a stud. Yeah. He did okay with the Patriots. He had Mac Jones, right? Mac Jones. He was terrible. He had no wide receivers. He had nothing. Right. They were able to bring somebody else up in the box because they knew Mac Jones could not complete a pass.
Why was Zeke signed for the Patriots? He was signed to be Stevenson's backup. He wasn't signed to be the starter. Stevenson went down with an injury, which gave him an opportunity to play more reps. But beginning of the season, he was the backup running back. That's what he was signed for. The difference is he was signed this year as the starting running back. If Zeke was our backup, that's the big difference. Exactly. I would be okay with him being a backup to somebody like Dowdle, who if he was better, but Dowdle isn't better than Zeke. No, and that's our problem. Our backfield,
that's very valid.
Our backfield is a mystery that we're going to have to unveil as we go through the seasons. We have no idea what to expect.
Right.
And we got to pray that Dak Prescott can have these numbers he's had every single year, right? Put up these big numbers, lead the league in passing yards, passing touchdowns, have a big year. Because you look at his numbers. A funny reel I saw on social media is like on the Carson show on Fox Sports, and they were saying like he's like, all right, this is Dak's numbers, and this is the guy that you can't see yet. Whose number is this? Can you think of it? And they popped up as Patrick Mahomes. Right. He has the same numbers as Patrick Mahomes, but the playoff record is different.
Right.
So like in the regular season, we have a stud quarterback.
Right.
He has Patrick Mahomes' numbers. It's shown in the last 5 years. His numbers are identical to Patrick Mahomes. And the only difference is the playoffs. He cannot win the playoff game when it matters, and that's the big difference. I'd rather have a quarterback who could win the playoffs than a guy who could have a great regular season.
So a couple things.
You have to have both. You have to have both games. You have to bring that regular season game into the postseason.
Couple things to comment on that. Number one, yes, Dak's numbers, you can't deny them. A lot of those numbers trash numbers at the end of the game when we're down or up big and he's throwing the ball.
That's not always true.
Well,
It's not always true.
I believe a lot of those numbers.
You
not a lot of those
are
numbers.
a Dak hater, and
I'm not a Dak hater.
We're Cowboys fans together. We're not the Cowboys, but you are a Dak hater.
No, and
you told me to rename my dog. My dog's name is Dakota, named after Dak Prescott.
This is
You
true.
told me to rename my dog.
This is true.
Because you do not like Dak.
Yeah, because he can't win in the playoffs. You love an average. You love a great regular season. I'm sick of losing in the playoffs.
So am I.
Yes. So rename your dog.
I'm not renaming.
Rename your
I'm
dog.
not renaming my dog because we can't
Dakota
win in the
is
playoffs.
forever. All right.
Listen. So the first thing is this. Maybe another show we'll figure out how many of those yards are. Is that's too hard to do right now, but. A lot of those yards are these.
All right. Look at his win-loss record.
You don't let me finish my
Yeah,
thought.
but you can say
You
they're.
don't let me-
You can
this
say
guy's
you
unbelievable.
can say
Just outpowers me. Because,
you can say you come on.
blah blah blah.
You can
blah,
say his
blah.
stats are garbage time stats, but they're not.
Oh no,
they are not.
No, they're
And
not
I-
playoff. Hey, they're not playoff stats either, folks.
All right. Let's
So that's
move on.
the first. No, hold on. My second thing. We'll agree to disagree on that. The second thing is I'm going to say this. In order for the Cowboys to be successful, you are right. You hit on something. Dak Prescott does have to be that great regular season quarterback. And what I think is going to happen is that, and I'm worried to say this because this is not the traditional way we want to think, but the Cowboys have to open up the run game, especially with these guys that are past their prime, by throwing the ball first and then allowing the run game to open up. So if Dak can carve out some yards to CeeDee Lamb, to Ferguson, to Brandon Cooks, to all his other targets, that's going to alleviate maybe some success for Zeke and Cook. It's not going to be the opposite. Usually you hear teams, hey, we have to start by running the ball to open up the passing game. I think right now for the Cowboys, the way they're built, they're going to have to throw the ball. And I'm not saying throw the ball all the time, like I said, but they're going to have to throw the ball, be successful throwing the ball in order for the run game to be successful.
I agree with you. I mean, they're going to do something because we're not going to run the ball on first down with Zeke. There's no way. He's washed.
I just told you. That's.
And I hope I'm wrong, but we're going to be there, and I'm going to let you have it because I just think Zeke, there's no way he makes it through the season as our starting running back.
And if
no
Dak throws 3 interceptions, I'm going to tell you to rename your dog again. So to tell you,
it ain't happening. It's off the table.
And in those 5 years when he had those Mahomes-like stats,
Right.
Who was in the backfield? What kind of running back staffing did we have?
Well, I mean, Zeke was there, but Zeke was a different guy back then.
Exactly.
Zeke had a couple good years, solid.
Well, Tony
solid.
Pollard was there as well. He had Tony Pollard.
Had some
Yeah,
great years.
Great years.
Yeah. Well,
And-
they misused Tony Pollard.
And think about this though, right? So 5 years ago, there was no CeeDee Lamb. It was Amari Cooper, right?
Yeah.
Amari Cooper was the guy.
Yeah.
And then they drafted CeeDee Lamb, had Amari Cooper.
Michael Gallup was there,
He was.
and he was good.
He was good. But he had Amari Cooper in Gallup. The
Yeah.
next year they had all three of them. They had Amari Cooper,
Correct.
CeeDee Lamb, and Gallup. Then they traded Cooper to the Browns, and then they kept Gallup. And then Gallup now is gone, and now it's CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. So the thing is this. Dak has this chemistry with his receivers. He's got Jake Ferguson for the last 3 years, which I did tell you 3 years ago Ferguson was going to be special.
He's a stud. I like him.
I did tell you that.
I like him.
And I'm happy that we have a good offense overall, but that running game does concern me, and I don't know who that guy is going to be. We will definitely figure it out because we're going to know right away is
Right.
Dalvin Cook going to be a factor? Zeke
Right.
definitely is going to be playing. We got Deuce Vaughn and we got Rico Dowdle, and hopefully we can figure that out and get somewhere this year.
You know who's gonna get the ball in different phases, whether it be out of the backfield or as a wide receiver for that matter, is Turpin.
Yeah, I do like him a lot.
You're gonna see Devontae Turpin. He's a TCU kid. He was a punt receiver at the time.
Punt
But-
returner.
punt-
Yeah.
excuse me, punt return at the time. But I'm going to be honest, he's so versatile. The Cowboys have started to introduce him, and I wouldn't even be surprised if you see him doing a little bit of the running. Maybe not in the standard running back.
They do a jet sweep with him, right? They
100%.
like that jet sweep. They
Yes.
use him on the
Yes.
slot receiver.
Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely a
You
special
watch.
player for a specialist player. He's not going to be a dominant
No,
receiver.
no, but here's what Scotty P just brought up. Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard was a specialized player, and guess what? When Tony Pollard was used as the number 2, as a specialized player, maybe 15, 16 plays a game, he was awesome. Zeke leaves, they put him the number 1 back. he was not
couldn't
he
carry the load
Couldn't
too
carry the
much.
load, and it's
Too much.
okay. It's okay because there's players for that way. That
role.
That role
right?
is for them. And honestly, you'll see Turpin be okay. I think you're going to see some good stuff from him.
So on to our next segment, right? We're gonna be doing these pick'ems, right? So I want to just kind of like intro that in. Throughout the whole season, this long, grueling season for the NFL, we're gonna be doing these picks every single week. So Scotty P, Joe Lombardi, and myself, we're gonna be doing these picks, and we're gonna be tallying them up for the end of the year to see who wins out of the three of us. So what can we wager? What can we do to kind of put this on the line here? Like, want to do a 30 rack? You want to do
streaking? No,
Frank the Tank over here.
there's kids in the neighborhood. Nobody
right.
wants to see that. Adults or
What do you guys think? Do you think we should do a wager here, a friendly bet?
Well, Scotty P, what if we have to put some type of New England Boston shirt on?
I like
if we
All right.
a hat for the episode, or
Well,
I don't know.
he has two chances to lose though. It puts him in the bad odds, but I'm down for that. Whoever comes in last place has to wear like the opposing team, right? So if I were to come and lose, you can pick a Patriots, Red Sox, whatever, and then if you lose, I get to pick a Cowboys, whatever I want you to wear for a episode. How's that?
You supply it though. I ain't buying it.
I can share. I would.
I won't fit into your jersey. I'm telling you right now. But if you want to do a fat guy in a little jersey, I'm in.
I don't have any XL. Sorry.
Yeah.
If I may, I will throw in something for you to chew on. Polar plunge.
Wow, that could be rough.
Yeah.
I'm in. Let's do it.
You don't have to decide today. We can decide.
I'm saying right now, what we got nervous about? We just get one of those 10, little tub things, and we just fill it with ice and
What do we do
water.
right here?
We do it outside on your deck.
Well, I would do it for. You can do it even out on your deck for Special Olympics, but you can also go to a lake. You can go in the ocean. February, March.
I want to do a tub. I don't want to do it at a lake.
Week.
I don't care.
You want to turn the shower on too and get it up to a nice temperature? Fill up the tub.
Why don't we figure this out while we're making our picks?
Hold on, if you're at a lake, you can't run back into a house what I mean.
Yeah,
I
right.
want that aspect. So
Right.
once you dunk it in, I can get up and get into a house and get warm. So
Real men plunge away from home.
Well, why don't we talk about this, and then on our next show, tell our fans what we're gonna
official
we will decide
wager.
Yeah.
But let's get Scotty P the cue up here.
All right.
do it.
All right. Dak Prescott, by the way, in his 10th year, so I guess he's got 9 years. He's 31 years old, and as we know, in the last year of his contract. All right, so do you guys want to? We just spent a good chunk of time talking about the Cowboys and the Browns, but you want to wait and save that till the end, or do you want to kick it off with everything you said fresh in our minds and our viewers' minds?
I guess we can hit it up now. So I think so I'll start first. I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Browns. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a defensive game. So I'll say the Cowboys are going to win that game.
I am not betting against the Cowboys this opening night. Cowboys going to beat the Browns. They're going to beat them, and I'm going to put a number on it too. They're going to beat them by 14.
You think it's going to be a
Wow.
blowout? I think it's going to be a 3-point game. You think it's a 14-point game?
I take that back. 10 points. 10 points. Cowboys win by 10.
A defensive battle with the Cowboys winning by 10.
Yep.
All right.
What do you guys got?
For the exact same reasons that you started talking about Lombardi when we began the discussion, because of their running game, I am going with the Browns. I think the Cowboys are going to be one-dimensional on opening night, and I don't think it's going to be enough to overcome the Browns, their defense. The big question or concern that I have, you also mentioned Deshaun Watson's play. If he plays like he's capable of playing, I think they win. If he has a bad game, then I could see my pick being wrong.
Who invited this guy?
I don't know. Just thinking the same thing.
God dang it.
All right. Well, we kick it off on Thursday night, the 5th, Ravens at Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs.
I'm going with the upset. I think the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson comes out and beats the world champions.
Okay.
And not a huge upset, by the way, here. It's not like you're going out on a huge limb. They played last year, right? And
You're killing me, Scotty P.
I just feel the
What's
Chiefs
up with the commentary?
Yeah. I just feel like the Chiefs got the Ravens number, but what do you got, Scott?
I have the Ravens.
You beat the Ravens.
In Arrowhead.
And I'm by myself with the Chiefs. Okay. Next.
All right. Then we take a little trip down to Sao Paulo, Brazil, for the Packers at the Eagles. The Eagles are the home team, but they are both playing in Brazil.
Packers and the Eagles. I don't even want to say this because I'm disgusted with myself.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Oh,
God.
he's going there.
Don't do it.
Go ahead.
But I know the wager is going to be.
Don't do it.
I got to. I really believe that the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers.
All right. So I'm not fully over the sting of the last.
I'm not
last
either.
Year's,
That's why it's
last year's
stuttering.
playoff loss to the Packers. But I feel like Jordan Love's got a young squad. And I hate the Eagles, so let's go Packers.
Let's go Packers. I think Love is going to outperform Hurts.
So you got the Packers?
I got Packers.
Let's go, Scotty.
All right. Then we go to Sunday. First Sunday of the 2024 season. 1 o'clock games. Steelers at Falcons.
I think I just don't trust Russell Wilson and the state he is in. Justin Fields is named the backup, I guess, in Pittsburgh. So Kirk Cousins, new uniform, new team. He's got some weapons on that team, so I'm going to go Falcons.
I'm going to echo that. I like the Atlanta Falcons.
I can't blame you guys, but maybe it's the NC State connection with Russell Wilson, bleeding red. I'm going with the Steelers
Wait,
on the
Russell
road.
is still on a team? Does
Yes.
Russell still play?
Yes, he is.
All right, moving on. Titans at Bears.
This is an easy one.
Yes.
This is an easy one.
Yes. Bears, 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 Bears.
I think Caleb Williams is the real deal. I got the Bears.
It's unanimous. Bears.
I don't think the Titans are any good. Even if Williams is not the real deal, the Titans are not that good. They're very weak.
They got rid of all their players last year. But
Gone.
yeah, keep going.
All right, two teams in completely different areas of the world. Pats at the Bengals.
This is going to be a close game, right?
Hold on. Pause. Do not even
do not
open-
need to pause.
Do not
Make
open
your
your
pick.
mouth. No. If you think we're not going to have a little fun with this one, you're
know.
nuts.
Let's Scotty go first.
Yes. Scotty P.
And you think I'm a homer, and I'm just going to go with my heart and not with my head.
I hope not.
Come on. We're just picking. We're not playing the spread here. We're just straight up picking who's going to
picking
win.
who's gonna win.
Bengals at home.
Times 3.
Yeah, the question is how big of a victory.
Oh, my God.
It's very big.
Hey, Brissett, enjoy that. It's going to be a fun season for you guys.
Jacoby.
Yeah, the better wager is how many games into the season will it take before we see Drake May on the field?
I say
Or
so.
even,
I say 7. I say
Yeah.
7 games.
and you may
Yeah.
even take that
If
even
they're
further.
if they're 1-6, I think Drake May comes in this season. I don't want if I'm a Patriot fan, which I'm clearly not. If I'm a Patriot fan, I do not want Drake May to touch the field at all this year. Let Brissett get beat up with no offensive line and keep him on the bench for next year. But that's just my 2 cents. I do not play him.
I slightly disagree. I understand your philosophy with regards to that, but I'll tell you what, the best experience that kid is going to get is getting into a game and playing. Yes, you don't want to get him hurt. You don't want his confidence to go down. They don't have an offensive line. All the things. But I'm going to tell you something. The kid has to get out on the field. The NFL is very, very different. Where did he come from? Duke? Was he? No. Was it
North Carolina.
North
that
Carolina?
other school down
Yeah,
there
that's what-
in the triangle, baby,
Scotty P,
baby blue.
You're the stat guy. Scotty, you're the stat guy. You got to say what school it's from. What school is it again?
I'm sorry.
What school is it?
I'm sorry.
Oh, he
What?
doesn't like that. He's
It's almost as bad as the Yankees.
he is a guy that needs some experience, and if they want to
Yeah.
build their franchise around this kid, if he's the guy, if he's the franchise, listen, you have nothing to lose.
You're gonna Max Jones this kid if you play him this year. But keep going.
Oh, I don't think so. I think you keep him on the bench and then you play him next year because Brissett stinks. You still don't have an offensive line that you want to have. You don't have the receivers you want to have. The kid needs some experience.
If he makes it through the season unharmed. All right, Texans at those Houston Texans at the
Oh,
Colts.
yeah.
The Texas Houstons.
What was I talking about?
All right, what do we got?
At the Colts. So
the
Texans
Colts.
at Colts.
That's an easy one, I think, for me. I think Texans win that game easily.
I think the Texans bury the Colts.
Yeah. What do you got?
I'm going with a little bit of an upset here, and the Colts at home.
You think Richardson's going to come out after the injury and play lights out against a really talented Houston team?
Week 1, man, you never know.
I
Scotty P,
hear ya.
did you watch football last year? Who got this guy?
Yeah.
Jags at Dolphins. Hot shots. Jags at Dolphins.
Oh, this is my upset. Jags going to win that game.
I got the Dolphins. I got Tua. I think Tua's going to beat the Jaguars.
I got the Dolphins as well, although I was surprised to see that I think as of right now it's like a 3.5 spread. The Dolphins are only favored by 3.5.
Okay.
All right, Panthers at Saints. Oh boy, here's a barn burner.
This is another one.
It's like a high school. It's like a high school varsity game.
I know. I got New Orleans beating the Carolina Panthers. I don't think the Panthers. I think they're going to be the top 3 pick this year. So I don't see them winning many games like the Patriots. Sorry, Scott, but that's how I see it. But Saints.
And I'm going to go with the Panthers. This is going to be an upset that I'm going to bring. The Saints are not that good either. It's a toss up.
Yeah, let me flip my coin, and
100%.
it came up Saints. I'm going with the Saints.
100%.
You don't think the Saints are better than the Panthers? I think they are clearly better.
Listen, I don't know about clearly better.
I think clearly better.
You think that it's going to be a blowout?
The Saints almost made the playoffs last year. The Panthers were a mess.
Nah.
But go ahead.
And I think they're still a mess, but we're going to find out. It's a new season.
What do you got, Scott?
Who do you have?
Saints. Saints. Yeah, I was sort of kidding when I said I'm flipping the coin. Oh, it came up Saints. No, that's my real pick. Saints. Vikings at the Giants.
This is a toss-up for me. The Giants were so bad last year. I mean, we were there opening day. Cowboys
40
Giants,
40-0.
Yeah. Daniel Jones, is he even a quarterback? I have no idea. I feel so bad for Giants fans. I'm gonna go Vikings though. I think Sam Darnold's gonna come out. He's got some good weapons around him. I think he'll beat the Giants.
Yeah, I have to agree with JP. The Vikings are going to win that game, even though J.J. McCarthy is down for the season with his ACL. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The Giants lost Saquon, as we all know. Daniel Jones is just too inconsistent for me.
Can you name their running back for the Giants?
I don't know.
Devin Singletary.
Is that who it
Came
is?
from Houston, yeah. So I don't think they have a chance.
No. Vikings.
What do you got?
Didn't Singletary have a good season though? Maybe not last year, but the year prior, maybe.
Maybe the year prior. He was definitely the backup last year for the Houston Texans behind, I think, Pierce and who else they had? Somebody else last year. But, yeah.
All right, lightning round. We got
Wait. Did you pick?
Who'd you pick?
Vikings. Yeah, Vikings are just
All right, cool.
too strong, too many weapons.
Yeah.
I can't pick the Giants. Talk about the Panthers. The Giants are right there almost with them. They're maybe a notch
boy.
above them. But anyways, let's get to our 4 o'clock games. We got 6 more games to go, so lightning round here. Raiders at Chargers.
Raiders.
Chargers.
Broncos at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks.
Seahawks, it's unanimous. Cowboy. Well, we're going to say we'll skip that one.
No, you didn't make that pick. Oh, you did. You picked the Browns.
Oh, yeah, we did that already.
You did
That's
that
right.
one,
That's
yes.
right. I made
Yep.
my pick. All
Yep.
right. Commanders at Bucks.
I'm going Bucks.
I'm going Bucks too.
Bucks across the board. Sunday night game. Rams at Lions.
Detroit.
Easy. Lions all the way.
Lions, unanimous.
Yep.
And the Monday night game. Aaron Rodgers, Jets at the 49ers.
All right, so because this is the Monday night game, let's give the who's going to win it with a score. So that'd be the tiebreaker. All right? So I'm gonna say the New York Jets wins that game. They upset the San Francisco 49ers on week 1, and the score is 21-17.
All right, you ready? The 49ers win that game 21-17.
This is a copycat.
No.
I'm going to go 49ers, and I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit of a shootout, and I'm going to say 31-24.
Wow.
That's big.
That's big. I think Aaron Rodgers.
I'm surprised you'd say that. Both teams have good defenses.
But Aaron Rodgers, his first real game action, 3 plays last year. I think he's gonna come out and I think he's gonna throw the ball around. I think it'll be fun to watch. But,
Yeah. We'll see if anybody can catch it.
Right.
And is the Jets defense is fairly solid?
Oh, they're
They
very
both
solid.
they
Yeah,
both have
very
great
solid.
both of them.
Both, yeah. But I think you're gonna say Aaron Rodgers or Brock Purdy. I think I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers, even though he's the old man. I trust him more than I do Brock Purdy. And they did get Brandon Ayuk back from for the holdout. So
Yeah.
the 49ers are full force. With,
Right.
with,
I think
And let's talk
49ers
about
have more weapons.
Christian McCaffrey is nuts. He's
Well,
he's amazing.
more weapons than the Jets. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, We got Garrett Wilson, who's a talented receiver. They got Mike Williams in the offseason.
Right.
They have Breece Hall. I mean, they have some decent guys too. It's not. I don't say the Jets are maybe not as good as the 49ers, but their defense is just as good. So I think
both defenses.
It'll be fun to watch. It'll be a fun to watch Monday night game. You know,
That's a great opener.
and then how funny is it? Aaron Rodgers gets 2 opening Monday night games.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Tell me it's not a business.
Yeah, right.
All right, gentlemen. Well, that brings us to the end of our very first episode. Thank you very much for your time, your input, your knowledge, your sense of humor. What else do we want to say?
Well, please give a like and a follow on all our social media. Please check out our QR code. Anybody we can get this to subscribe and follow and like our pages. It just helps us grow the audience, and we can get to you guys easier. So please give us a like and a follow if you could.
Thanks for listening.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it.